we are going to create the light spotlight. Just starting with the spotlight, okay? You have to click it over there. So you will get the options before creating the spotlight. You can make the intensity, the color, the cone angle, the perimeter angle, drop off, decay rate, cast shadows can be enabled. All these things you can enable while creating scene light options. So always reset the settings, then you create. So you will get the default light without any other prescribed menu values. Just scale it. 4 is for wireframe, 5 is for shading, and 6 is for textures, and 7 is for lights. You can see the spot. You need to get a test render to know how the light is affecting the scene. We are using only the Maya software render now. So just use intermediate quality. Lots of resolution image sizes are here. 1080 means it is 1920 1080. The width and height resolution of that frame will be full HD. Since we are using a normal laptop, better you can use normal 1280 HD, normals 1280 HD 720. I just click the render in this button. You can see here how the spotlight is rendering. It's a default light creation. We're just increasing the intensity to 2. See now, it is 1 and this is 2. You can find out the difference of intensity . You can change the color here, like yellowish. You can add more little yellowish color. Keep this image also. Why I am keeping this image is you can cross check your previous renders. Okay. See the color difference. It's intensity 1, now it's intensity 2. Even if I'm making this intensity less, let's see how it will be. I'm making it 0.5. Okay. We have another option, emit diffuse. I'm switching off this emit diffuse. You can see here the diffuse lighting is removed. We are emitting only specular. What is specular? You can find out the object which is making shiny, which is creating shine. We represent using specular. And for this light now, we have enabled only specular. So I'm switching off this and I'm switching on diffuse. See, this is the diffuse, only the diffuse light, which is not casting any specularity reflections. So I hope everyone understand the differences of specular and diffuse in this light. The next is decay. We have different kinds of decay rate for the light. So assume this as a torch and we are making linear decay. For example, linear decay. If I'm taking one more copy of this object. See the intensity of back object. It is very less while comparing to the front object, because the light is having decay. If I am using quadratic decay, the decay rate is more for quadratic. So you can make it intensity like 100. See, it is showing the background, but the less intensity is there for the background. The next is cone angle. You can reduce the area of light which is emitting, or increase the area of light which is, if I'm increasing the cone angle this much, bigger cone angle, like some 100, more than 100, the whole area, including the background, it is visible now. If you want to cover up the whole area, just increase the cone angle. See the light now, this much area will get lighted up. So the next option, we are going to use the penumbra angle. I'm going to increase the penumbra angle by default. See, now the sharper edge is there for the cone. If I'm increasing the penumbra, like 5 or 6, see the edges is not sharper. The sharpness of this edge is reduced. The same, I can make value 10. It's very much, the sharpness is very much reduced. Reducing the light, it is drop off value will reduce the light. So I'm making it 50. Keep this for the value is 10. See the difference. It's without any drop off value. This is drop off value 50. This is value 10. The next option, if you want to add a light fog effect, just click it here. You have seen a new cone which has happened, and it's light fog. If I check the render now, see here, you can see the light fog. Then option, the other one is color-based transparency. Switching off that, the transparency is getting reduced. We are using depth map shadows. The resolution by default it is 512. You can see the shadow casting. Okay. There is another option for ray trace shadows. There are two kinds of shadows available in Autodesk Maya. One is depth map shadows and the other is ray trace shadows. So we have added that ray trace shadow options, and I'm taking a render. There is no shadow casted. You have to switch on the ray trace options. You need to switch on, enable the ray tracing in the software render options. You have to go to render settings here, then you need to tick on this ray tracing. And the term ray tracing refers, which will create reflections, refractions, and shadows. See now, we have enabled the reflection, refraction, and shadows. So whichever the texture which is having reflection options, it will get reflected. By default, this floor is not having any reflections. You can see the previous rendered images. Okay, nothing is reflected. But see here, it starts reflecting. Even the body textures of this character, everything start reflecting. Why? Because we have enabled ray tracing. We have made the reflections, refractions, and shadows. It will get casted. See, for example, if you put 0, there will not be any shadows. Because in ray tracing, you have switched off the shadows. So by default, it is value is 2. The same thing, if you don't want any reflections or refractions, make it 0. You just put only the shadow values. And if I'm increasing all the values, okay, I made it all 10, 10. See, now the quality of reflection and refraction will be much, much higher. Even the render time will be much higher. You can see now, previous render, it was only 3 seconds. Now it is 5 seconds. Okay. So just enabling the ray tracing and the values made higher values, it's double the render time. 3 seconds become nearly 6 seconds.